The Quebec government is now armed with tough new powers aimed at ending the student strike. It passed emergency legislation today after debating non-stop for nearly 24 hours. But reaction from student groups and some legal experts has been resoundingly negative, with some comparing the new law to the War Measures Act and calling it an infringement on basic rights. The CBC's Catherine Cullen has the details.
Alors, la motion est adoptée.
And with that, the government's controversial plan is passed. It could make protests like this illegal. If a demonstration is expected to have more than 50 people, police must be given details 8 hours in advance. If police don't like the plan, they can tell demonstrators to change it.
It's no longer about the strike. It's about the democracy. It's about our civil rights that are under attack by this government.
This is a question of freedom of assembly, right? Freedom of expression, freedom of assembly.
Disobey and it's a fine of up to $5,000, up to $125,000 for student associations. After the first offense, the fine doubles. Critics call it oppressive and draconian. The government says it's about preserving rights.
Open the classes, give to our street and the subway and our bridge a place where people will not be afraid to go.
He's referring to scenes like this, protesters ignoring court orders, forcing a stop to classes. Selena Toya's class was canceled that day, but she doesn't think this law is the answer.
I mean, to some extent, the fines and the legislation makes sense, but then once you take yourself out of that urgent position, this legislation just seems like an infringement on constitutional rights.
Supported by Quebec's most powerful labor groups, student leaders call it a declaration of war.
It's unacceptable, and if we need to break this law, we will seriously consider it.
They're preparing a legal challenge.
No citizen will go in any protest in the province of Quebec because the rules are so strong.
Also today, Montreal City Council passed a bylaw allowing police to arrest and fine protesters who wear masks. It also requires demonstrators to stick to a prearranged route. The first major test of the law, student leaders say, is the death of free expression, is expected on Tuesday. Massive demonstrations are planned to mark the 100th day of the student strike. The law is set to expire in July of 2013. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Montreal.